All right, so today we're diving deep into one of the coolest concepts in modern sci-fi, the totem from Christopher Nolan's masterpiece Inception.
That line right there, that's pretty much what the whole movie is built on. We're talking about a world where your mind is literally the crime scene, a place where dreams can be shared, built, and manipulated. So how in the world do you know what's real? You need an anchor.
And that's where this little tool, the totem, comes in. Understanding this is absolutely crucial, because in a universe where physics can bend, time can stretch, and your own identity can be faked, the totem is supposed to be the one and only constant.
Okay, so let's get into it. To really wrap our heads around how these things work, we've got to know where the idea even came from. See, this wasn't some standard issue gadget that came with the dream-sharing tech. Nope. It was invented out of pure, desperate necessity.
Just try to imagine spending 50 years, half a century, in a world you can literally reshape with a thought. That was the situation for Mal and Cobb. She created that spinning top as a physical baseline, something to check against a world where your mind can build anything and eventually make you forget what was real to begin with.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. These totems aren't just little trinkets you carry around for good luck. They operate on a super specific set of rules, all designed for psychological security.
This three-step protocol, it's everything. And that first one, the no-touch rule, is the most important part. If somebody else gets their hands on your totem, they learn its secrets. Then, in a dream, they could fake it perfectly, and you'd be trapped without ever even knowing. It's kind of like a psychological password that only you can feel.
And here's the genius of the whole system. You build a unique flaw into your totem in the real world. A dream architect who has no idea about your little secret is just going to dream up a normal, generic version of that object. That difference, that's your tell. That's your proof that you're in a simulation.
And you can see this logic play out perfectly with the rest of the team. Take Arthur's die. In reality, it's loaded, so it always lands on the same number. In a dream, an architect would make a fair die that lands randomly. Or Ariadne's chess piece. It's got a secret hollow spot that makes it tip in a very specific way only she knows. These little imperfections are their anchors.
Okay, so all of that makes sense, right? Well, here's where it gets complicated. Because the most famous totem of them all, Cobb's spinning top, seems to throw all of these fundamental rules right out the window.
And that brings us to the central paradox here. I mean, if the whole point of a totem is its secret abnormality in the real world, why is Cobb's top, well, just a normal top? It's supposed to fall in reality because of gravity and friction. So where's the secret an architect couldn't just guess?
You see, unlike everybody else, his totem runs on a completely inverted logic. He's waiting for it to do something abnormal, spin forever, to prove he's in a dream. But that creates a massive security risk.
So yeah, his totem is basically broken as a security device. First off, it wasn't even his to begin with, which smashes the no-touch rule. But more importantly, any dream architect is just going to dream up a normal top that falls over. Cobb would spin it, it would topple, and he'd think, phew, I'm in reality, when he's actually not. It's not a tool at all. It's a psychological crutch that ties him to Mal.
So if the top is so unreliable, what is actually going on here? Well, this leads us to a really compelling fan theory that honestly seems to solve the entire puzzle of the movie.
A lot of people believe the top is a brilliant piece of misdirection, not just for the characters in the movie, but for us, the audience. The theory suggests the real clue has been right there on Cobb's hand the whole time. The evidence for this is purely visual, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's stunningly consistent. In the real world, C. Cobb has accepted Mal's death. He's a widower, no ring. But his subconscious projection of himself, the guy who goes into dreams, he's still married to her, so in every single dream, that ring appears on his finger.
And when you track this across the film, it works perfectly. Every time. Meeting his father-in-law in Paris, no ring. Fighting projections in the dream hotel, ring is on. Lost in limbo, the ring is definitely on. It's a subconscious tell that's way more reliable than any physical object.
So, according to this theory, that whole famous debate about whether the top falls over is completely irrelevant. The definitive proof is already there. The missing ring on his hand means he's finally home. He's back in reality.
But let's pull back for a second here. Beyond all the plot mechanics and the fan theories, this whole idea of the totem speaks to the movie's much deeper philosophical questions about, the very nature of our existence.
The totem is basically an attempt to solve this problem that's been around for centuries. It's a search for one piece of objective certainty in a world where everything you see, hear, and feel can be a total fabrication. It's a weapon against that radical doubt.
the filmmakers themselves have kind of hinted that the objective answer isn't really the point. Michael Caine, who plays Cobb's father-in-law, said this about that final scene. It kind of shifts the whole focus from what is real to what reality do we choose to live in.
That action is the real climax for him. He spins the top out of old habit, but then he sees his children's faces. And in that one moment, he makes a choice. His kids have become his true totem, an emotional anchor so powerful that the physical test just doesn't matter anymore.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. The movies suggest that maybe our reality isn't defined by objective physical proof. Maybe the most important truths, the ones that truly anchor us, aren't the ones we can prove, but the ones we simply choose to live by.